You see the largest, most sophisticated investors in the world integrating environmental and social issues into their investment process because they believe it makes them smarter investors. How can we invest in a mining company that's operating in multiple countries around the world without understanding the geopolitical realities of those markets? How can a mining company ignore the communities in which they operate? They depend on that license to operate in those communities. How can an oil and gas company operate in a medium to longer term environment without understanding the impact it's having in the climate change debate, or without dealing with health and safety issues? You know, investors now understand that the world has changed. And you know, these things that 10 years ago, 15 years ago used to be thought of outside of the financial rubric are now core business decision making. And think of it as an iceberg. And if you think of a company as an iceberg, my argument is that if you're only looking at the traditional financial ratios that investment managers have used for decades, you're only seeing the tip of the iceberg, that part that's above the surface of the water. Today, 75% of the value of that company isn't immediately evident. It sits below the surface. And investment managers, whether they're pension funds, sovereign wealth funds, mutual fund managers, or individual stockbrokers, need a better sonar to really understand the companies that they're investing in. And we think that an evaluation of the environmental and social aspects of business helps inform that decision a whole lot better. We're seeing greater transparency now on the part of companies. And certainly around environmental and social issues, some of that information will continue to be qualitative, but each year there's advancements and it's becoming more quantitative. We're able actually to quantify impacts of this type of information. Just take climate change, for example. We are now able to take climate change and quantify it to a certain extent with ratios like production or carbon production intensities and so on. So, there is this move to take environmental and social data, qualify it, and putting into a quantifiable framework so that investment managers can deal with it in a more traditional manner.